Hello, everybody. I am Neon Manta, and this is a special podcast. Normally, we'd be doing Castaway Anime, but that's on hiatus. But I had an idea. I've been feeling about something that's been happening in the anime community recently, and it's been bubbling up a storm in my brain, and I just needed to finally word vomit it all out here, and I want to get some friends to also weigh in on this conversation. So. As always, we got Crunchy Bagels here joining us. And we got our two guests. We got Cairo Slipstream from Twitch and Framing the Narrative from YouTube. How y'all doing?
Hello, I am doing just fine, I guess.
I'm pretty good. Chilling.
Ironically, I feel like the normie encroaching in on this podcast because I feel like I'm surrounded by three people way more passionate about the topic than I am.
I'm not totally surprised.
I will say I did seek out Kyra and Framing specifically because I knew they felt passionately about this. Little did I know that from the little that we spoke with Kyra beforehand, before we started recording, she seems to be more passionate than seemingly all three of us combined.
Yep, definitely. I definitely am more passionate about this because I'm what they consider a fucking old head at this fucking point, so really it's just like, old man yells at cloud or something.
Yeah, we're gonna be yelling at a bunch of clouds today. I don't even have a name for this kind of podcast because I don't know if there's gonna be any other kinds like it. If there's gonna be like a ranting at what's going on in certain communities thing or just whatever. I did kick around a few names in my spare time. My favorite being Adrift in the Digital Sea, or as I like to abbreviate as AIDS. The AIDS podcast.
Okay. I can dig
Okay,
it.
you got me there. You got me at AIDS.
Only my
I
more
do-
than fan service level wordplay right there.
So
I do feel like it's
you
worth
know what?
pointing
Now
out.
all three of your approval has now convinced me to name it that.
Yeah, let's just
So
name it
welcome to
AIDS at this point.
The first episode of AIDS, Adrift in the Digital Sea. So the topic for today: gatekeeping. Yes or no? Okay, more broader than that. I kid. But it's a little bit more complicated, a little broader than that.
That's how we're gonna
So-
end the video.
Yeah. So
To gatekeep or not to gatekeep, that is the question.
as great philosophical minds like Aristotle once pondered. So there's been some recent misgivings in the anime community and like a whole bunch of different like fandom, like typically considered nerdy media communities. Particularly anime seems to be like the magnifying glass of it right now. But it's happening to different extents everywhere else. But specifically with anime in mind, there seems to be this rise of disconcertment from usually more specifically longtime fans of anime or even like gaming, relatively recently created fandoms, about an encroachment on these particular fandoms by newly made fans who, even though they have less insight, knowledge, and experience because they are newer to this media, this fandom that they are a part of joining, it seems like their numbers are increasing to the point where they are now seemingly dictating the community conversation around these topics with their large presence. And it feels like the old heads, as Kyra put them, the old guard, so to say, who've been around the block a few times or for like around a decade, have been like feel like they've been pushed out. They feel like their voice is being heard less and less, and they're being ostracized for this thing that they've felt like they were once ostracized too. Like this was the community that they built. This was the house that the nerds built. That was say, hey, you know what, anime and gaming is for dweebs or for nerds. Like, who fucking cares about these Chinese cartoons? We're gonna be watching our Walking Deads, our Breaking Bads. Not to disparage, Western media, like as a lesser thing, but like it was viewed as more of like anime was viewed as more of like a kiddie thing, like a nerdy, immature thing. But like, given the past 10 years, it seems like it is now like this thing that was once considered to be a nerdy thing or just for nerds has now become more mainstream than ever before. Now anime is popular. It is beloved by more people now than ever it has before, and there's this increasing number of these newly made fans that are creating discourse within these communities, targeting these people that have been fans of this like anime for longer, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. We'll call it Normie Encroachment.
Mm-hmm.
Me encroachment.
I honestly like that term.
Yeah, and to be fair, like no matter what we call it, I'm sure someone out there is going to consider it extremely cringe. So I mean, call it what you will.
I mean,
normies, tourists,
yeah, I mean,
just
call
whatever.
you
it
can
what
make
you
the
will.
argument that
All this discourse, in my opinion, is kind of cringe, but at the same time, there's
Fair.
something to be learned about it, so we should probably talk about it
Yeah,
and just get it over with.
Yeah,
just to make the point
so-
that you have to call it something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I admittedly I also cringe at like calling it Normie Encroachment. You know what? That's a good thing to start with.
Yeah.
Like the term, like are these new fans? Is it fair to label them as normies?
Well, I think there are many different subsections, and I think that some of them are perfectly innocent. Like, obviously, you have your people who only watch their shonen. You have your people who come in, consume all of the most cinematic shows, the
Yep.
Cowboy Bebops, the Techno Lises, the Serial Experiments Lane,
Mm.
Monster. They watch all of these, and then they basically go away. And obviously, those people are perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with coming in, consuming the shows, and then going back to doing what you were wanting to.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem really I think is a lot of discourse that doesn't understand what they're talking about, a lot of frankly slanderous insinuations towards people over their taste in anime, and a lot of just what I would say is discourse almost trying to argue that anime should just be like the more mainstream things.
Mm.
Has its own sense of irony, obviously. Many of the
Yeah.
things that people complain about are also happening in live action shows. As always is the joke, there are plenty of live action shows about teenagers in high school. No one complains about that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's definitely got to do. My problems with a lot of like newer fans is that they tend to adopt some very heinous rhetoric about like this thing that I don't like must be eradicated from all of this medium at all cost, even though it's been around since like the medium was even, like made. Like, for example, like a lot of people like to say that waifu culture is like not like based on like lolicon or something like that, when in actuality it was actually made because of like lolicons.
I think
I don't know if that waifu culture as a whole is like
to my
not to
understanding,
veer off into a completely different conversation.
Mm.
But I don't think like waifu culture and like it was specifically built on only like lolicons.
Yeah, but
that's opening a different can of worms.
Yeah, definitely. Like I would say back in the day, like lolicon was more of a broad term and not like meaning like what lollies look like today. Basically, like I know shoujo manga was like the birth of like the lolicon subculture, mostly because it was mostly based around like pretty girls and stuff like that. Nowadays, lolicon is more like the cute and funny,
Right. Well, I think, to my understanding, the term originated in Azumanga Daioh. There was a character where the running gag was that all of the characters thought that he was a pedo, but then it turned out that he had a wife, and he called his wife his waifu.
Yeah, like, waifu,
I don't believe
the
where
waifu
the-
term came from Azumanga Daioh, definitely.
I could be
I
wrong.
think, like, the
I've
lolicon
heard
stuff, that
some
it just didn't
people-
have, like, a lot of people who had, like, feelings towards fictional characters, like, didn't have, like, a specific term for it, and then when Azumanga Daioh came out, and, like, the waifu term, it blew up, especially in, like, English anime circles and stuff like that.
You had a point
I'd
you wanted to
have
make?
to look into the origin of the term because I've heard some people trying to dispute that it was merely a meme revolving around the term, or that may have helped it pick up steam in English-speaking communities.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
on the
and I
broader
think-
topic of normies, I'm coming here with a different perspective from the old heads due to me being young as shit. And by young as shit, I mean 20 compared
Yeah.
to 32, 25, and 24.
Yeah.
And since a lot of this stems from the internet, I was right at that cutoff point where, as far back as my memories go, the internet was it had already suffered the normie invasion, as it were.
Yeah.
And
I like to
so
call it like
I
corporate.
only, yeah, the
I like to call it like
corporatization.
corporatization, basically.
See, I
Like-
only know about the old internet because I make videos about things that happen in it. For instance, I've been reading forum posts from forums as far back as like 2003 for the thing I'm working on right now, and I've spent a long time. Every time I make a video like this, I spend some time literally like assimilating into and understanding the culture of whatever I'm talking about, and just ingesting as many posts from it as I can to just understand what the general mindset of someone in that community would be like. And I think that a lot of the issues, at least from my perspective, to do with the quote-unquote normie encroachment have to do with this corporatization of the internet, where there is no longer, niche forums don't pick up traction the way they used to. And so
Yeah.
it's harder to shut out the entire world, which is
Containment has been broken on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, basically like social
Mass
media has
containment
become
breach.
like so big that basically like dedicated forums to stuff and like personal websites and stuff like that have just become like a non-existent art form, or at least like there are some like
they've definitely, I wouldn't say they've gone away entirely.
Yeah,
they
haven't gone away
subreddits.
entirely,
Still,
but they're
like,
just like niche communities within niche communities, basically.
yeah, like the number one track, like, place if you want to go for like the largest pool of general anime conversation would be r/anime.
Yeah.
Or if you just want to like roll the dice on whatever trending anime is on in the like top trends of Twitter right now,
Yeah.
you can scroll the popular page on there and dive into that.
Mm.
Aside from that, like your only other alternatives are finding and tracking down Discord servers that are so happen to be centered around the specific show or thing that you wanted to be talking about. But that comes with the thing of is this like the biggest one, or is this like an offshoot of the biggest one? Is just someone just a small group of fans made?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It seems like a lot of like even like anime, like I'm only part like I only tend to visit like for when it comes to discussions, I don't really discuss on like any social medias about stuff. Like I'll usually discuss in like a Discord or something like that, or just to my friends or something. Because like I've gotten so afraid of like catching flack from the wrong people that I feel like if I'm even expressing my opinion in any way in like some Discord server of people I barely know, I'm pretty sure I'm either gonna get like fucking chewed out or banned because the mods are power tripping assholes.
Listen, God forbid you post a picture of the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya and get clowned on by some 14-year-old calling it, I got reincarnated as Diddy and now I want to go to the store to buy a cupcake.
Oh my god.
The funny thing is
I don't know what to say about like
specifies random 80s anime when Haruhi is a 2000s anime. And the isekai trend wasn't nearly like that until like the 2010s, I think.
After Sword Art Online.
Yeah, exactly. It also the I kind of get a little pissy when people just like call like shit like, oh, Diddy, like the Diddy, the fucking
it's so
like Diddy
Diddy
ass cupcake or whatever the fuck. It's just like
nice try, Diddy.
It's just like
it's everywhere.
I'll give him this. Diddy Gatri media is really funny to me.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That one's pretty good, but the rest of it is just like literally just like buzzword, like throwing buzzwords at people.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with not knowing about a show that's older than you are. I mean, the problem is the ridiculous rhetoric that comes after.
It's the flagrant like willingness to be ignorant, or like you being proud of this ignorance. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, how it blows my mind that there are anime fans or like people claiming to be anime fans, and it's okay. Like, all right, I'll out myself. I'm not the biggest anime fan on the planet. I've not seen Haruhi yet.
Yeah.
I plan to, but
You
I know who
should.
Haruhi is.
It's good.
Yeah, like I have never watched Haruhi in my life, but I know about Haruhi and I know about like some of the memes.
I
like
know the
for
impact
example,
that
Endless
I have
Endless
Eight
Eight
a
being
lot of
like a
people
filler
to
arc.
chill to. In case you couldn't tell from my Discord profile picture right now, which is literally Yuki Nagito, Nagato from Haruhi.
Yep.
I will say this, Crunchy. Maybe your constant glazing of the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya was on point, because the movie has now accurately predicted its own discourse 15 years later.
Oh,
It has,
God.
in fact. Man, couldn't you imagine if Haruhi disappeared and no one know who she was? Man,
Yeah.
couldn't imagine that.
Yeah, imagine
Like
if
that.
imagine if you will, you were in the if you were in the 2000s like I was. If you were a fucking like 2000s weeb and you didn't know what the fuck up, like if Lucky Star didn't come out, or if Haruhi didn't come out, or like if like when I was in the early 2010s when I actually just went online and discovered anime, like what would the world be like if I did not like find out what the fuck panty and stocking was at like an unreasonable age, because I was like 11 years old and I probably should not have been watching that.
Well, see,
Yeah,
ironically,
been
I've been. I feel like I had. I've gotten a lot of pushback on this, but I think the ideal introduction to anime is one like what I had, where my first anime was Dragon Maid. So I had to contend with all the
yeah.
weird shit immediately.
See, that's like
Band-Aid
that's a
thrown.
filter anime.
That
That's
is
a
literally a fucking filter anime
Well, I
if I
didn't
ever
get
seen one.
filtered,
Like, no
and it
joke.
was my
we're
very
we're
first
gonna talk about
one.
like fucking we're probably gonna talk about this type of shit in like later in the podcast. But literally, no joke. I was on Twitter today, like just looking at like stuff for research, and apparently there was like a TikTok. Literally, like, just like, I can't believe they used this design for a lolly anime, and it was Kana. And it's just like,
and she's not Kana, the famous non-sexualized character.
yeah, like, totally,
Except
like,
in that one
just
scene,
like,
but I
it
mean-
wouldn't be as bad if she wasn't sexualized.
Well,
and I'm just
this
like,
is
ha, filtered.
I don't know, Crunchy. I mean, like, I get where you're coming from. I personally did not find it very hot. I thought it was funny.
I did not
Yeah.
find it very hot either. I need
Yeah,
that on the
but-
record.
Psycho certainly did, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
I do agree with I kind of agree with the premise that it would be better if more people were thrown to the wolves in that way, though. 'Cause I feel like
exactly.
there are a lot of people who are, trying to create this idea of your starter anime, and
Yeah.
they're basically just, here's 10 anime that aren't like anime, so that you have your expectations set completely
Yeah.
wrong for the rest of the medium.
Framing, you get it. You get it. This is why we need to show everyone Dragon Maid first thing.
Yeah,
I
like-
personally,
Also, it's just
if
a
I'm
good show.
if my goal is to like get someone I know into anime, if I know personally
Mhm.
that they can handle more like the weird stuff that anime naturally has within it,
Mhm.
Mhm.
because it's just like part of the identity and the culture.
The meta.
Mm.
Then I could recommend them something like Dragon Maid. But
Mhm.
if I'm trying to like a friend who I know isn't like into like needs like a little like easing in, like
Mhm.
I don't think it's a bad thing for
Right,
your
right.
starter anime to be fucking Demon Slayer or
Right.
Jujutsu Kaisen or Naruto or Bleach or any of like the popular shonens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and look, I definitely got
my
started on
issue-
DBZ, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I got fucking as a
my,
kid, I got indoctrinated into before I knew that it was anime. I just thought it was a
Mhm.
fucking cartoon.
Yep.
I watched Dragon Ball and Pokemon and
Yeah.
Digimon, and I thought that was the coolest
and
shit.
Jackie
Okay,
Chan
I'm not gonna
Adventures.
count Pokemon as my first anime because that's
Well,
like a
that would be
normie choice.
everyone's first anime.
Yeah,
if
everyone's
that
first
the
anime was
case.
fucking
Yeah,
Pokemon. But
true.
honestly, I think I think my first anime that I ever actually like got me into like anime as a whole was was the old Astro Boy cartoon, like the 1980s version.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I don't know how in
Um,
the actual fuck I managed to get my hands on, like, a DVD of, like, old Astro Boy episodes, but I somehow did, and I do not regret it one fucking bit.
For me, if we're counting like what got me like into anime, I got into anime like hardcore in winter 2016.
Mhm.
So nearly 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was with there was this one anime that was making the rounds online that everyone was like, dude, you gotta watch this.
Mhm.
I'm embarrassed to admit where I started watching it.
Yeah.
Because I was that fucking kid in middle school where I went to my middle school's anime club.
Oh, God.
Which I do look back on with great shame.
Yeah.
But I will say it did start me down this horrible road of which I can seemingly never turn away from. But I am grateful for it that it did turn me on to this amazing show called Erased.
Oh, Erased. Ooh.
And I think Erased is a very good introduction into anime.
Mm-hmm.
And from as like, okay, maybe like even if like the shonen stuff is like a little too out there for you,
Yeah.
your One Pieces, your Naruto's, like that's a little like it's magic dudes fighting. Maybe that's
Yeah.
a little too out there. You need something a little more grounded with like a twist of like some fantasy stuff.
Mhm.
Then Erased, I think, is a really good starter point. It worked for me, and then it helped to build into stuff like, okay, what else do I want? Because I was already into anime from Dragon Ball, but like Erased got me to be like, what are anime outside of Dragon Ball? Like I thought Dragon Ball was like, and like the big popular shonen ones like Naruto, which I had only seen like some scattered episodes on Toonami here and there, but like never watched the whole thing. Then like, oh, like what is this world? What is this like this oyster I have discovered outside of the little bubble that I grew up in? Oh, like and then I watched more and more, and I watched stuff like Gabriel Dropout, like Dragon Maid, like My Hero. I still consumed some of like the mainstream stuff here and there. Like when My Hero Academia was at its like peak of popularity at the time.
Yeah.
And I like that I got into it that way. But if I'm trying to, get someone into it, I don't know. Dragon Maid would not be my first choice.
I think it would be very useful to see more like specific comparative recommendations. Like, hey, you're into police procedurals, try out Psycho-Pass or Ghost in the Shell. Like, these are the kind of recommendations that...
No joke, though, I would literally just, like, if anyone wanted to get into anime, I would just throw in the weird shit right away, because I don't give a shit, but, I mean, to be fair, I would just as a joke...
I mean, if your goal is to just gatekeep them out the gate, then...
Yeah, like, no joke, if I were
Dragon
to,
Maid would be...
if someone was to recommend me, like, a really good, like, the really good anime, you know what I would recommend them to watch? Inferno Cop.
Inferno Cop.
Well, Inferno Cop's its own thing.
Yeah.
It's like kind of
Get back
its
on
own
that.
separate thing.
I mean, it's the first thing that Studio Trigger did, and honestly, I love the shit out of Studio Trigger. Kill la Kill is actually one of my favorite animes to actually get into, like, the more weird-ass side of anime, you know?
Right. We could probably debate what the best first anime is all day.
Yeah, that's its own topic. But that does kind of want me to segue into well, but before we leave the Haruhi topic altogether.
Yeah.
I wanted to point out like that was part of the initial like fire starter for this podcast, because I was like, there are motherfuckers out here who are like not only like flagrantly showing off to the whole like internet, anyone who can see that, hey, I don't know who Haruhi Suzumiya is, and I am like showing off that fact.
Well, it's so funny.
So not only is this person not getting ratioed into oblivion, but there are so many people like this post has lots of positive traction. It's got positive comments being like, man, they're just trying to like latch on to anything and be like, they're trying to throw anything at us to make us look stupid. It's like, it's Haruhi Suzumiya.
Yeah, it's
Haruhi isn't even that weird.
It's
It
ironic.
really isn't.
Yeah, unironically, Haruhi isn't even that weird of a fucking anime if you
It's
look at it.
compared to like
its
shit like
plot
Dragon
is
Maid,
weird,
Yeah,
very
compared to
it's
like
not,
Dragon
like,
Maid and Kill la Kill,
degenerate.
I'd say it's like surprisingly tame.
If
But
it
it's
came
just
out
like-
today, it would be a viral dance trend if it came out today, because it was
Yeah,
when
exactly.
it came out.
Like
That's the irony
recall,
of it.
I kept seeing like animations and memes parodying the Haruhi Suzumiya or like the Lucky Star dance.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last time I saw Haruhi like referenced in like big popular mainstream media is when they put the Hare Hare Yukai dance as a taunt for Mei in Overwatch.
Oh my god.
I did not know that.
Ugh, I could say a
No,
lot about Activision Blizzard and how much I hate them.
It's okay. This was like the 1 year anniversary of Overwatch. This is back when Overwatch was good.
Yeah, and back when Activision Blizzard did not, I'm guessing, did not treat their employees like utter shit.
Well,
I mean, maybe it was
that's
gonna cover
different
up.
topics.
Yeah, maybe they were trying to cover up shit. I don't know.
That's a different rabbit hole, though.
Yeah.
It's this flagrant like pride and being proud of like showing off how ignorant you are, and then having all the different like-minded individuals like upholding this flagrant ignorance that brings my piss to a boil.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
You also have to kind of ask the question, and I mean, I don't want to make the whole conversation pointless right out of the gate, but how many of these are trolls? How many of these are bots? How many of these are 12-year-olds?
It is easy
I
to
think
just
it's
be
mostly
like,
12-year-olds.
actually,
I
this
don't
is
think
all
it's-
just bait and you fell for
yeah,
it.
I
like,
don't
no
think it's
joke.
all of them, but
Why do you think bait used to be believable is a trending meme now?
No
It's
joke.
because
I'm just constantly reminded of that one tweet that said the fact that I'm at risk of seeing a 14-year-old's opinion at any time
Yeah,
of day on the
yeah.
internet is a human rights violation.
Yes!
I
love
actually agree with that so much because
yeah, I love
think
that
the
fucking
core
tweet.
of the
That
issue,
tweet is just literally me now. Like, it's just like every time I look at a fucking like shit opinion, go to their profile, see that they're like under the age of 18, and I'm just like, yep, I'm gonna immediately block you because one, I don't want to see your shit opinion, and two, I don't talk to children.
Well, see, I think that gets to the core of the issue to me, at least my perspective on it, which is that the normies aren't even necessarily always the issue. Like, at least in a vacuum, being a normie isn't an inherently bad label because you always are a normie on something.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, everyone who
as
becomes a fan of something starts out as a casual normie who don't know shit.
Yeah.
But the issue is our methods of gatekeeping have been unfairly ripped away from us.
Yeah.
right, well,
Yeah, exactly. Like, I remember my my non-VTuber Oshi. I don't know if you know him. His name's Justin Wang.
Justin Wang.
He's the
I
guy
like
who
it.
did the
I've
videos
never
about the
heard
fucking poop
Justin
knife
Wang
and the.
called an Oshi.
I feel like that I've heard that name before.
Yeah, he does a YouTube channel about like internet history and stuff like that, and he's done videos about like, you know, like he's done like normal videos like the one about death metal by Panchico and like some lost media stuff, but he's also done some like really weird shit like dolphinsex.org or the poop knife story or like the Reddit Jolly Rancher story or something. It's just like some weird fucking shit, mostly relating to like piss, shit, bodily fluids, what have you. But he's a really cool guy. I like him, and I follow him on Twitter. And he retweeted the fucking one of those fucking like weird like people trying to revise the history of like anime fandom in the West as a whole. And he retweeted it with the following tweet: normal people like normal people aren't the first fans of anything, basically.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, everything kind of slowly gravitates towards like what someone might call critical mass. And I think the broader a medium tries to reach, kind of the more narrow the appeal can become for people.
Yeah, it's like why like the modern audience or something like that. Like the modern audience term is literally it's literally like an oxymoron in some way because it's just like what audience? What are you trying to appeal to?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to like put it to like a pinpoint, this idea that the old heads are so there's a group of old heads that fear that stuff like their anime, which is always had a bit of an edge to it, always had this unique flavor. That part of the appeal of anime is that like it does offer this like unique blend of storytelling and themes and tropes and unique elements that you don't really find anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, and people often like to make the comparisons to independent media in video games and the like, but like we're not talking about independent media. We're talking about professional productions made by large studios.
Kill la Kill
in
was a
many
professional
cases.
production.
Yeah,
about
remember,
girls
guys, Studio
getting
Trigger
power from getting naked.
Yeah, Studio Trigger is an actual animation studio, guys.
And they're
not just some
really...
niche internet fucking studio making stuff on YouTube. They are a legitimate company. They have a fucking Patreon.
A group of executives in Japan got the idea of Kill la Kill pitched to them, and they greenlit that shit.
I mean, to be fair, Studio Trigger was started by people who were in Gynax before, and you guys remember the whole like Gynaxing meme where like the boobs are like flopping around and shit like that. It didn't come out of fucking nowhere.
Right.
Because it was pioneered by Gynax. Rest in piss, by the way.
That's a death of the old guard, if ever there was one.
Yeah, at least Trigger got the rights to panty and stocking.
Yes, and I like to always throw it out there. By the way, you can donate to Studio Trigger on Patreon if you didn't know. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Yes. I am an honorary subscriber of. I am the honorary. Like I think I have the $5 tier. Hold on, let me take a look at Patreon real quick.
I really wish there were more opportunities like that, because it's difficult to put your money straight into specifically the kind of products that you want. But I think a lot of what this comes down to, I put a quote down here.
That quote was based. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I feel like this may be I mean, maybe I'm the crazy one, but I do feel like we're jumping around a lot on a lot of points that could be considered semantic. I think this quote really takes it to the heart. Did you want to say something else before I just read this?
No, the quote is based, and I think you should read it.
Okay, so this is from Otaku Spirit. I believe the video is just called "Why I Don't Want Anime to Be Mainstream." So I quote: The important thing to remember is that despite the growth and love of anime, society as a whole will never accept anime, even if it is popular. It's too weird. It's too unfiltered. And that's exactly why I love it so much. And sadly, society as a whole can never accept it because, unlike your diehard anime fan, they can't cherry pick what works for them. And they hate that. Anime covers a massive spectrum of genres, demographics, and tastes. From a kid's show for everyone, to a teen action show, to a romance, to an adult thriller. Not everything is for everyone, and rarely can a diehard fan even stomach it all. But that is what makes anime special.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And the part about, like, not everything is for everyone,
right.
I think this is going against the grain for, like, the demographic that I am because I'm a woman. But I cannot stand BL or like boys love or anything like that. And I've accepted the fact that it's just not for me. I don't like that kind of stuff.
Hey, I also don't typically enjoy boys love.
Yeah, like
I wonder why.
Because it's like I'm not a huge fan of like because I'm kind of a husbandoist. I guess I'm like a husbandoist. And if I get attached to a character, I will want, like, nothing else but to fuck that character. And then, but boys love it. But if it comes from, if it comes from, like, a boys love anime, I literally just, like, want to fucking kill myself because it's just, like, I am not getting with that man. That man is probably homosexual.
Okay, so...
Hey, man, that never stopped me with girls love.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, girls love, I can accept girls love because I am also a girl.
I am convinced that every single one of the cast of New Game is gay. That's not going to stop me from destroying Koyagami.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like, it's it's all got to do with like what your preference is, and honestly, I tend to go towards more like I guess out there anime because, like I said, I like Studio Trigger. I love Studio Trigger's animes and stuff like that. I love Penny and Stocking. I love Dorohedoro. I love a lot of anime with like very over the top gore in it. Like I watched Akiba Maid War recently, and I absolutely fucking love the shit out of that.
I still only seen the first episode. I got to go back to that show.
Yeah,
I do think
it's really good. Highly recommend it.
this concept of filtering, I think, is highly relevant because the thing about new anime fans is, of course, that they don't know how to filter. I don't think a lot of them know how to go to AniList and check the tags. And even then, like for a lot of people, even if they're watching a show like Demon Slayer or Jujutsu Kaisen, occasionally something is going to come up in there that is weird or taboo. And I mean, every time something like that happens, you see people screeching about it.
Why does the one bitch from JJK want to like sleep with her brother naked like that?
Dude, here's the crazy thing about this, and I waited too long to make a video, but I would argue it's literally just a great scene because they contrast how screwed up their relationship is with the relationship of these two brothers who just met each other, who were just trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
They're now protecting each other. Meanwhile, these two are running away. She's trying to profit off of this all, and they have this screwed up relationship. It's just good writing.
Oh my god, it's just like the coffin of Andy and Lele.
Okay. I haven't played that yet.
God damn it. Okay, like I think my like successful filtering moment basically was like remember when Chainsaw Man was updated and the chapter where possible spoilers for Chainsaw Man.
Okay, hold on. I'm
care
gonna
about
have
that.
to deafen.
Basically, Asa gave Denji a hand job.
Yeah, I know about this. I'm almost caught up at the moment.
Yeah, basically I think the whole chap, like most of the. I don't know what the rest of the chapter was about. A lot of people were literally just talking about the hand job scene.
Yeah. Well, I think, I do think Chainsaw Man, oh my god, all by itself, Chainsaw Man Part 2 just has the most insane fandom of, oh my god, Chainsaw Man is amazing, oh my god, Chainsaw is terrible, oh my god, Chainsaw is amazing, Chainsaw Man, oh my god, it's terrible, it's amazing, it's terrible. It's impossible to deal with.
It's literally impossible because, like, Tatsuki Fujimoto is literally fucking insane.
I love what comes out of it, though. I will say, like, for how different it is, I've really been enjoying it. But that's obviously a totally different.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally
that's why
subject.
I love, like, Chainsaw Man. And I also love, I mean, to be fair, Chainsaw Man is classified as a shonen, so I'm surprised that, like, Chainsaw Man and Dun Dun were classified as like shonens and not seinens because of all like the weird shit that happens in both of those.
Yeah, there's been a definite shift.
I think we're done spoiler talks. I'm gonna ping Crunchy to come back in now.
Good idea.
Yeah, but on the topic of like on that kind of stuff, I just think it's more of a thing of, I think Japan just treats its like young audience with way more intelligence and respect than the West treats their child audience.
Yeah. Like hold on, can I bring up some really weird, obscure like anime knowledge that I know because of like cultural differences and shit like that?
I don't know why you're asking permission now.
But I was a huge fan of this show back when it got popular on Tumblr because I used to be on Tumblr and I hate that part of myself, so I'm not going to dwell on it too much.
Yo, am I safe from Chainsaw Man spoilers?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. But I was about to talk about like cultural differences when it comes to like how kids are treated in Japan than in the West. But when it comes to like Japanese kids cartoons, like one of my first examples is Keroro Gunso or Sergeant Frog. It's a very popular children's show in Japan, but it has a lot of things that could be very questionable to a Western audience, which is why I believe, like, in America, they kind of classified it as, like, for teens and stuff like that. because like, you know, there's the question of the amount of like very questionable scenes with the mother and the daughter and the son's friend and the alien girl who is apparently a niece to the frog creature for some reason. But yeah, I just gotta say there is a lot of like sexually questionable scenes in Sergeant Frog, and honestly, I did not discover it until I was a teenager because the only way I was able to get dubbed anime was on Amazon with my mom's permission. So.
Well, to be fair, I know that there are so many things in even American cartoons that would just slip under the radar unless you went back and watched them today. I mean, is it that kind of thing, or I mean, do you think it's explicit? I've never actually watched Sergeant Frog.
Well, I guess it's certainly a different kind of flavor, other than like a certain like. I know there was like a bunch of like. I'm pretty sure like. There was one inflation scene or one like feet scene or something like that, like specific fetishes, but I don't think there were like any specific fetishes when it came to like the fan service in like Sergeant Frog. And then I'm going to bring up a show that I know specifically from Tumblr, because it was released in 2000, the turn of the millennium, baby. It's a show by the name of Poppy the Performer. Or Poppy the Performer. And how do I describe this? It is a 3D anime, basically made entirely in 3D, basically. And the amount of very questionable, violent, gory scenes in that anime, as well as fetish, like questionable, possible fetish things in that anime, is just like, what the fuck is this? Where was this broadcasted? Motherfucker,
you know
it was broadcasted on fucking Kids Station. That's the name of the channel, Kids Station. And it was apparently popular enough with both kids and adults to spawn a shit ton of merchandise and a bunch of fucking weird shit that happened. And it was like it was kind of a this could only happen in the 2000s type shit.
I feel
well,
like
you know what? It sounds to me, Kyra, that maybe Japan just has a moral outrage problem that they're poisoning the youth of Japan, and we gotta step in and we gotta tell them to clean that shit up.
I mean, to be fair, there are actually like a fair amount of Japanese people that grew up when Pulpy was on, and they were scared shitless by it. So even then, even if it was popular, it was still scaring a shit ton of Japanese children, like Courage the Cowardly Dog did for us Westerners.
Right. I think there's an irony that is not. I don't mean to say not an accident. I don't know what the phrase here is, but an irony in that Japanese culture is in many ways the culture itself is not really open to this kind of thing. And I mean, you could see that from the fact that they literally have to censor, the genitalia and anything. At the same time, I think
they're so
artistic,
the
artistic culture is almost like a pushback against that, is the way that I would see it. And I think that does affect everything. It's also just the tropes are different because of where it comes from. The interactions between characters and the behaviors. I think a lot of things that we think of as anime tropes probably have more to do with anything with the way that Japanese people interact relatively, to the way that we do. There's so many differences, so many things that are affecting this, I would think.
Yeah.
Listen, all I know is that when I see a show like My Dress Up Darling, and they're putting this 15-year-old who doesn't look like a 15-year-old at all in these sexy outfits and bouncing her tits around. I get so mad. The nausea people are enjoying this.
Just like, I'm not enjoying it, so nobody should enjoy it.
My Diddy Darling.
Yeah, my
Oh
skinny
no.
She's
Well-
actually a minor, so you're not allowed to find her attractive, and if you do, you're weird and you're a pedophile.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
so I
oh
hear.
god, I remember, like, there was, like, a really fucking innocuous meme going around of, like, drawing your fave as, like, this stock image or something like that, and, I found someone did, like, Kiryu and Satsuki, who, by the way, I believe she is, like, 18. So, just keep that in mind. And then, like, I looked down at the replies to see, you know, like, oh, is there anyone who has a funny reply to this? The only reply there. Studio Trigger is actually a very pedophilic company, by the way.
Well, here's the thing, and I just call this like the impossible logic of the terminally online. Like, if the character looks mature, then the age of the fictional character matters. If their age is fine, then it's the looks that matter. If neither of these arguments works, oh well, it's the way that they act. Like, there's
If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
Yeah.
That's the logic that I go on. I don't give a shit that.
Yeah.
I don't care what Shinichi Fukuda says. Kitagawa is not a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where people try to psychoanalyze the culture, and I do think there's some truth to the fact that they, a lot of these artists hate corporate work culture, so maybe they do kind of like the idea of, creating a vision of what high school would have been like if it was what I wished it was. At the same time, I think a lot of this really boils down to we designed a character to be attractive, but it's supposed to be marketed to teenagers. So we're going to call them teenagers. We're going to stick them in high school. This is going to help us sell the manga in a completely shallow, meaningless way that affects almost nothing. Half of the time, it doesn't even make sense that they're in high school.
Yeah.
It's marketing is really what a lot of it is.
Most of the time, a lot of people, like, I'm guessing, like, I guess this is my own conspiracy theory about it, but a lot of the time when an anime character is like high school age or something like that, it's either like because the setting is in high school, or they're just trying to capture like the youth of like the demographics. Like for example, Dorohedoro, a lot of the characters are like adults and like over the age of 18, except for like Ibisu. I think Ibisu is like 13 or something like that. But that sure doesn't stop her from getting naked. So, but yeah, it's a seinen manga, so of course, like, most of the cast is going to be like adults, basically.
Right.
But what
guessing
about
it's
when we're
mostly
enjoying
down
a
to
good
either
old
like
shonen, like My
demographics
Hero
or capturing the youth.
Academia?
My Hero Academia.
Well, what if we got to look at a character like what the fuck was her last name? Momo Yaoyorozu.
Yeah,
And
Momo.
she's got her primary design is she got her side boob, her inner side cleavage, a big hole in her chest so she can better use her power. She can literally pull things out of her chest that she creates with her power. What if that's just too weird, man?
Yeah, that's just
why we gotta
disgusting.
why we gotta get why do
pedophilic.
we the audience need to be exposed to that? Why can't it just be even though I'm choosing to view it as a sexualization?
Has anyone complained about? I do think there's some. I mean, the level of absurdity in the character acting, the changes in art style. I think Bakemonogatari is actually a great anime for pointing out this. The fact that a character will just change designs completely in the middle of a scene. There's a looseness to it all that to me is really the artist is drawing the character sexy for a sexy scene, cute for a cute scene, funny for a funny scene. And I would argue that's the way that it probably should be, but I think a lot of people would argue against that because they really want to be able to make sense of all this, even though it's frankly impossible. But I don't even think, I mean, you don't really have to point to the most niche of products to see this. I mean, there's so much of it in mainstream anime. I mean, you talk about the boob window. Has anyone ever complained about Mitsurugi from Demon Slayer?
Which one is she? Oh, she's the pink-haired love ninja, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I actually think she's literally me.
Yeah, she's she is canonically of age. But I mean, do they really look that different?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
No.
yeah. Do they
It's
really?
just so wild.
I mean, I still find it hilarious that Demon Slayer is one of the more popular shows, and it gets often praised for oh yeah, it doesn't have any of that weird fan service stuff, and but then Nezuko's transformation has her
Oh my god! Like every
grow up and
moment
expose
with Daki.
her cleavage, like her tits literally get bigger and become more exposed,
Yeah,
Tis true.
Definitely
True.
is.
and her age does not change.
Yeah, like no joke.
Right.
I have a feeling that a lot of people. Can I talk about the trend of people saying that they critically consume media, or not
Yeah,
actually
right.
doing it, just saying that they do,
Well,
basically.
But before you do that, I would like to point out, because I think a lot of people get caught up on the fact of why do you talk about this element so much? I would say it's because this element is the one that is under attack 24 hours a day. I mean, just for anyone who's questioning it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
you can't
we're
say
not
that
gonna
you...
call out fucking Western cartoons for doing this type of shit. Why do?
Right.
I think it happens in anime more often because it's just fan service is a prevalent part of
Yeah.
it's one of its tropes. It's like
It's
Framing's video that got trending online and that quote too. It's yeah, I like anime except for the themes and the fan service
And the fan
and the
service,
tropes.
or the
Yeah, I mean,
tropes, or the weird things, or the corny dialogue.
well, and
the conflicting tones.
and that unfiltered nature is it really is what I love about anime. People often get it, I think, twisted that it's one direction or the other. There are some people who complain about this anime is woke or this anime is fascist. The appeal of anime is that it has all of these things in one, and it can appeal to hyper-specific, hyper-specific niches that you can't get anywhere
both
else.
woke and fascism in
It
Yeah,
does.
it
It does. Literally.
Like I said, BL, literally, Black Butler is popular because it appeals to the BL crowd. Because Yana Toboso, I believe, isn't she doesn't she do BL a lot?
I couldn't tell you, Bob.
I couldn't tell you because I used to know people who were fans of Black Butler, but I don't watch Black Butler simply because I kind of have a filter when it comes to yaoi bait and shit like that. So once something starts fucking baiting oh, these boys are gonna kiss but they're not gonna kiss, I'm just gonna be yeah, you lost me, bud. You lost me.
You should have made him kiss.
Yeah.
I can relate as a fan of Yuri.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of magical girl animes seem to go towards the Yuri route now too.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, there are instances of actual Yuri being in magical girl shows. For example, Monica Magica, all of it.
Yeah, well, I think another thing that happens is a lot of writers just create stories that do not include males, period. I mean, that's definitely a trend.
Yeah, that's. I
That's
mean, to be fair,
based.
that's the whole.
I understand
that's
Shout
the
out
whole
to
thing with
Little Witch
Moe.
Academia for only having one prominent male character.
I mean, to be fair, Bocchi the Rock. I think doesn't Bocchi the Rock have one guy?
Ironically,
the dad, who you can't even see his face because he's a hentai
No, I mean there was another guy. There was another guy who was.
Oh
part
yeah,
of the other band.
the club owner.
Yeah.
Ironically, I think in many instances it is actually an attempt to keep things more wholesome, or in a case where lots of raunchy stuff is happening, keep the most, kind of unsettling aspect of it out. Just to point it out, even freaking gushing over magical girls, I don't think there's a single male in that show.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
yeah.
there's not.
Gushing Over Magical Girls is the most raunchy fucking magical girl show to come out. There's no dudes in it.
There's so many
I mean,
directions.
it's sort of the reverse of I remember someone saying how in ancient Greece, a lot of people, there was scriptures that said the love between two men is the purest form of love or some shit. What if it's literally just the Japanese are a love between two girls is the purest form of love or something?
They're not
Amen
wrong.
to that, brother. But
I do think that. No, go ahead.
no, go ahead. You can go.
I was gonna say I think there are really two other things, two other elements that God, where was I going? Jesus. That come into this discussion. One is that I think a lot of people actually end up fighting each other instead of fighting what the thing that they don't want to happen, which is clearly a level of censorship finding its way into anime. It's been unfortunate to see that so many people would rather fight amongst each other about what kind of censorship you're complaining about. It's really disheartening that I see left-wing creators who yell at right-wing creators because they only complain about like fan service censorship. But then you see right-wing content creators and their comment sections complain about left-wing content creators because they only complain about, say, Yuri being censored. There's also an argument being made by many that things aren't actually getting worse, and I think they presuppose this on the back of shows like Gushing Over Magical Girls, which are really only coming out, in my opinion, because there are 60 shows coming out every season. Of course, every once in a while, something is going to come out.
Gooner bait.
Every once in a while, of course, something like this is going to come out. But on the whole, there is so much censorship actually finding its way into anime. I mean, I would point out just a couple recently. The two remakes, these are two of the most ironic ones, Ranma and Half and Urusei Yatsura. Both shows that were fine when they came out, but people will say, well, the censorship is actually getting better. Well, why are the remakes censored? On top of that,
why are there fucking, like, if something is that good, why would we need to remake it?
Well, to top it off,
that's money.
That's
yeah.
Well, it's
I feel like that
it's
answer...
also trying to. It's also probably trying to get past certain region blocks, but I do think there's more and more of it happening. There's more and more of it happening at the source. As you notice, I mean, if you also look at, I know some of you guys don't like all of these shows, but you look at even 2.5 Dimensional Seductress, you look at Heavenly Delusion, you look at Zom 100. These are all shows that featured explicit materials within the source material. I mean, each one of them, Heavenly Delusion, is a seinen series. It's for adults. Zom 100 is a show about like embracing, your own outlook and your own freedom, abandoning corporatization. And then there's 2.5 Dimensional Seductress, where the characters are literally like yelling about how awesome eroge art is, and you're actively censoring that right in front of me. You're reframing the scenes completely because you have no intention of ever uncensoring it. You're not going to make multiple versions. That's the reason you change the entire scene.
Yeah, so I gotta say something, because, like, I'm a huge fan of Dorohedoro, and I know about the source material, of course, because I own, like, 7 volumes of the manga currently. And comparing, like, the manga to the anime by Mappa, definitely the gore and, like, the gory details and shit like that have been toned down significantly, because, like, I remember a significant part that I noticed right away was the first, like, the scene in the first episode where Kaiman basically rips off Ebisu's face. They don't show Ebisu's face when her skin is ripped off. They only show, like, the skin of her face on Kaiman's jaw, and they don't show, like, the gory, like, fucking the ripped face off of Ebisu. Like, as a gorehound, I was kind of just like, damn, okay.
Gorehound is one hell of a phrase. Holy, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, like, no joke. I'm just like, wow, okay, we're not gonna get the full like fucking shot of her face. Okay then.
Yeah. Well, obviously there are better and worse examples of this. That there are also things that kind of get caught in the crossfire. Like, a lot of people said that with the 2.5 Dimensional Seductress show that, well, yeah, of course that, they cut out some of the nudity. But if you go and check out the manga and actually read more than a couple of chapters, you'll notice there are entire scenes that they got rid of. I think it's clear they got rid of some of those scenes because they did not know how to properly censor it without making it, intrusive, the way that they're trying to avoid it being intrusive. Because they got rid of that, though, they ended up getting rid of wholesome plot twists in the middle of the more perverse scenes. Like
God.
you end up gutting things that are the exact opposite of what you were trying to get rid of.
Okay. You just
Unfortunately,
reminded me that I saw on like Twitter, people were like up in arms about like, I don't know if what manga it was, but you know the meme of like the guy like speaking and it's just like a whole fucking wall of text. Like,
oh yeah, I know what
yeah,
you're
like
talking about.
I don't know if it was it like
100
the 100
Girlfriends.
Girlfriends
What
show?
100 Girlfriends? I know
Yeah,
what
it
you're
was
talking about
100
now.
Girlfriends. Apparently, they cut out that entire scene in the anime.
That's
It's
a
unfortunate.
crime.
It is. It's so unfortunate.
I feel like they should have had the entire thing in only one shot, just focus on it for however many minutes it takes to say the whole thing.
Oh
Just
my
commit
God.
to the
you
bit.
You could do like a cheap ass basic like slow keyframe.
Yeah,
zoom
just like
in
a
while he's
slow
saying it.
like zoom into his face when he's like saying that.
I think there's actually a perfect way that could have been done. I would point to I can't remember if it was Effatel of Melodies or Effatel of Memories, where the girl she's trying to call her significant other, and the words just start to overlap because she's calling over and over again. She's continually leaving messages because he didn't show up when she was expecting him, and the visuals are overlapping and the audio is overlapping until the point that you just hear that phone beep at the end. Like, it's unfortunate because there are ways to do these things, man. It's totally off topic, but
Yeah, it's just like there are like creative ways to like reframe like stuff from between anime and manga. It's just that when you cut out shit entirely, it gets a little bit fucking confusing.
yeah. I don't know. Do you guys feel like this is a good time to click to something else in the notes?
Yeah,
Probably,
I would
about
assume so.
To transition into like I wanted to bring up like where like why all of a sudden it feels like this wave of newfound anime fans, this Normie Encroachment is been kicking in because it feels like they've been coming in waves. Like there was the mid to
vid
late
was definitely a part.
2010s when like the big anime boom with stuff like My Hero Academia, Mob Psycho 100. It felt like in that era, like there were also like the early guards of like Attack on Titan, Sword Art Online. Regardless of what the quality you thought of the show, it was popular.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Kill la Kill.
Yep.
Stuff like that. It got like it opened like a wider gate. And I think that was also around the same time that social medias like Twitter, where it became less of like social media became less of like a place where you would like share blogs with your friends like on Facebook and MySpace, and became more of like this shorter term like melting pot of like shared experiences and like the connecting of ideas that sites like Twitter and Blue Sky elicit.
Yeah, like it's less about, diving into a forum where you're all talking about the specific thing that you're all passionate about, and it's more that you're all kind of cooped up in one space.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, then we also had the next big wave, which I think was the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where everyone's like stuck at home, like, well, shit, I've already like watched all these TV shows, watched all these movies, I don't know, maybe even I played some games, but I need a new thing to watch. I don't know. How about oh, here's something. Oh, I'm gonna be stuck inside for like a year or whatever. Maybe I'll finally check out that Naruto people have been talking about, or that One Piece.
Yeah.
I've got, if I can just find the screenshot, Crunchyroll, they released, yes, I believe between 2021, let me see if I can find, it went from like 5 million to like 13 million, and I think they mostly credit it to Demon Slayer, but obviously the vid had a lot to do with it, people being
that
stuck at
goddamn
home.
Mr. Beast tweet ruined everything. Episode
God.
19.
I just gotta say that over the years I have become so cynical when it comes to how I consume my own anime in the West, because I will literally avoid Crunchyroll and Funimation or like anything owned by either like Sony or like in the fucking like the the wank off sector, basically. I like to call it the wank off center because they literally like jerk each other off and shit like that. It's so.
Okay, so just to put it into perspective, at the time of Sony's acquisition in 2021, Crunchyroll had 5 million members. This number skyrocketed to over 12 million within 2 years, largely due to the exclusive streaming of Demon Slayer. And this was at the tail end of 2024. So that's 3 years there. That's a huge jump, over twice as many subs.
Yeah, definitely. And
the
reason why I hate Crunchyroll is because over the time they've gotten like too comfortable with being like the top dog.
Absolutely.
Not only are they paying their employees like shit, but they also let like. I remember recently there was this one tweet from like a voice actor who was voice acted in one of their anime like dub productions with like either Funimation, because Funimation and Crunchyroll are now like they're now the same.
Well,
and
pretty sure Crunchyroll owns Funimation now.
Yeah, Crunchyroll owns Funimation now.
Technically, the Funimation managers became Crunchyroll. Just for the record.
But basically, he tweeted about like how his fan mail has been stolen by Crunchyroll employees for years and just given away to people instead of actually going to him. And honestly, if my expectations for Crunchyroll weren't down to the fucking floor, they just went down to fucking like the 7th circle of hell.
Well, there was also obviously the story about one of the voice actors wanting to sit down. They just wanted them to sit down and have a conversation with a union. They refused to even have the conversation. Another thing that I like to point out, because people quickly forget it, that they advertised the merger as all your anime all in one place. Then they let 300 licenses expire. It's the total opposite of what you said it would be.
You know, I don't want to get too off topic, but I know a place where all the anime is in one singular place.
Yeah, me too.
In fact, I know a few different places where it's all neatly collated in one place.
Indeed.
My favorite place to watch anime, in Minecraft.
I actually... I have thought many times...
I think at this point, my disillusion with like, it's not just Crunchyroll, it's just streaming services as a whole. Like, why do I gotta pay to like watch something exclusively on there when physical media exists? Like, if I want to watch something that's like older and like actually has a physical release, I'll go out and buy the physical release. I don't care.
I think there's another
is probably gonna be cheap if you're looking for a particular show. A subscription was like only like what, like $15 a month, as opposed to like the physical box set, which is probably like what, $40 a one-time payment, sure, but
honestly, I would rather pay
1 month plus everything else.
Here's the thing: I would rather pay more for something that I can physically own than less for something that can just be taken away from me at any moment.
Well,
absolutely.
Remember when this was about Normie Encroachment?
I
don't know about that.
I mean, this is
have
part
one
of it. I do
tie-in.
think that Crunchyroll had
tie-in
a big effect on the rising the number of normies in the anime community.
Yeah.
They also did somewhat, I think, divide the community, because Crunchyroll is, to old heads like me, a place you go to get zero features whatsoever when you've been spoiled for years by the unofficial sites.
Yeah.
You have comment sections, you have custom playback speed, you have, subs with dubs long before they had them with Crunchyroll, and Crunchyroll's using them with AI. That's why they can't translate the freaking Chinese.
Yeah,
there are just so many obvious issues, and I think a lot of the old heads,
the funny thing, actually, Crunchyroll used to be a piracy site.
Yeah. I think that this is also another... I don't know how large it is, but I do think this is a separation that occurs between people who have been using these other websites for years and people who are actually terrified to engage in any form of piracy whatsoever. Because I see people floating around the internet who don't watch lots of old anime because they will only stream anime on the official platform. I think this is another reason that a lot of people don't get into the old weird stuff, because a lot of it really just isn't available.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't watch Popey the Performer anywhere, like, legally. The only place you can watch it is on fucking YouTube. There's a whole, like, literally, it's all on YouTube. You can watch it. It's like a 2.5 hour long video of all the episodes. But that's not uploaded legally because they didn't get, like, permission from Kid Station, but it hasn't been taken down, so...
That we're still seeing stuff like that today, where like, I think most famously recently, Girls Band Cry. It was one of the like most critically acclaimed anime of whatever season it came out of. You couldn't watch it legally.
Yeah, I believe the same thing happened initially with Blue Archive. There was no official license for it.
Yeah, but
I
now
mean,
that
one isn't as big of a loss.
Blue Archive on YouTube.
Say what now?
They released Blue Archive on YouTube.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah. But I will say though that I honestly support like companies like posting their stuff for free on YouTube, even though it'll be just a limited time only for you to watch it. I still support companies like uploading shit onto YouTube for free because that's what we used to do back in the day.
I was surprised. A lot of how I watched my dear friend Nokotan last year was on YouTube because of this channel called It's Anime. Which
It's Anime
I never heard of until
Nokotan.
then.
Yeah.
But I guess they were like an officially licensed partner.
Yeah,
because we're gonna put the episodes up for like a day or so. We're gonna show
it was like
a
week actually. It was like a week for each episode.
Yeah, we're gonna have it up for a week. We're gonna take it down. But then we're gonna put the next episode up the next week, leave it up, and every new episode we're gonna take down the old one, put up the new one. So that way you don't have to pay for anything. You just have to keep up with it every week until we take it down. I think they then since uploaded the entire. I don't know how recently, but they uploaded the entire first season on YouTube. It's like one big 4-hour video or something.
Yeah, that's how I that specific channel was how I watched the creator of Fullmetal Alchemist, how her persona is a cow. She had a show about like farming and stuff like that because she grew up with a farming family in Hokkaido.
Silver Spoon, right?
Yeah. I watched like a few episodes of that show because of that channel. It's Anime because they had it uploaded on there.
Alright, well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, this was really just a capstone, but I do think there are levels of separation there between people who only know the closed environments and the people who know that there are so many different ways to watch anime. Like, I have a region-free Blu-ray player. Many people have media servers.
Yeah, many people. I have a couple friends who have media servers. I personally like going out of my way to purchase, like, anime that is obscure, even though there's, like, no English subtitles or anything like that on, like, Japanese DVDs. I still purchase them. Like, I believe I own the entirety of Popey the Performer on DVD. I'm able to watch it through VLC media player and my desktop because I have a Blu-ray player attached to this fucking thing. But I also have an anime titled Interceptor Hoi Hoi San or Bug Eraser. Like what was it called? Hold on. Give me a second. Let me go look at my full media collection for a sec.
I just watched.
She's doing that. I'll let her finish her point when she comes back. But I do want to turn the conversation a little bit more back toward the Normie Encroachment, so to speak.
Yeah.
And specifically about how the old guards are fighting back. They've come up with a new slur to use against them. Their new favorite word to throw around when they see a Normie anime fan talking that shit. The Taurus slur.
Taurus. Also, the anime is called Interceptor Doll Hoi Hoi San, and it's based on a manga of the same name. And there's a shit ton of plamo kits made by Kotobukiya of the same series. and I personally really like it. It's super cute. I haven't watched the it's not really an anime. It's more like an original, like an OVA, just basically like like 1 or 2 episodes. But it's really adorable, and I would highly recommend you look it up because there was also a PlayStation 2 game as well.
So much obscure media. I do think the tourist term is interesting because it's become something that people feel is an insult, but weebs have said for years that there's like a time limit that most anime fans stick around, which is like 2 years, I think is the often quoted number.
Yeah.
Like most people are anime fans for 2 years. They consume everything they're interested in, or they get bored and then they leave. It's not really. It's not that much of. I don't know. It's not an insult about you being a bad person. It's not like.
I mean,
I feel like
no one's
it's
using it
it's
as a.
been
I am
co-opted
saying you're
by.
a bad person.
Let's
but...
be real, 90% lolicons. That's mostly who uses the word.
True.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, yeah, it's been mostly used. I've seen it be mostly used in arguments with like lolicons being like no
That's
disrespect to lolicons, because honestly I have no room. Okay, no disrespect to lolicons. I have no room to talk. I have rape fantasies. So
Hell of an admission on a podcast.
I mean, I don't know if those two
Mid
things are like
podcast.
one in the same.
I mean, to be fair,
I say what I say with some
it's like a
some
taboo
disrespect to
subject.
lolicons. I'm not
It's like
even
a
gonna
taboo
lie.
sort of fetish. So really,
Listen,
Well, I
Listen,
do think
as long as there are no real world victims being made of it, I don't care what you jerk off
yes,
to.
exactly.
Just
That's
don't make
what
it your
I'm
whole
saying.
Just don't make it your whole personality.
Yeah, definitely don't make it your whole personality. Like I like to joke
don't
about.
go online and be proud that like, oh yeah, I jack off to Kana Kamui. Are you guys? Don't you guys think I'm cool? Don't you guys think
I
I'm
mean,
so
to be fair, yeah, a lot of people will
red-pilled
say that
Well,
shit
the
just
issue is
to
that
get like rage
the
bait,
issue is that
just to rage bait
90%
and shit
of
like
people-
that. But I jokingly like to say that I'm a lolicon because like a couple of my favorite characters are from Blue Archive.
I do think there are a lot of people doing that.
I love Kayoko and Tsurugi. I have no room to talk, really.
Well,
I
see, the
do
fact
wonder-
that the term has mostly been co-opted by people who do make it their entire Twitter presence is the reason why I myself would not want to use the term and generally find it pretty cringe because it's mostly used as a way to and I need to think about how to phrase this properly, but like a way to just label an entire group of people without really engaging with the point. And it's not even necessarily that it's a good point or that it necessarily always needs to be engaged with, but more so that it's become the catch-all in order to just I don't even know. It's just cringe.
I
It's
do.
just
I'm dancing around the
that
wider
new-
point.
that
It's
new
just
term-
cringe.
That new term that they've come up with, hood weeb, is
Oh,
100% rooted in racism.
I mean, to be fair,
I didn't even
honestly,
know that was a
it's
term. What
literal-
the-
Honestly,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
where
rooted
is
in
hood
racism
weeb
as
being
more it
used?
is like
I
rage bait
have-
just to get people
I
to,
think-
to respond.
I believe it's actually a co-opted term. I believe there were some people who were referring to themselves as this, some of the people who have been harassing TV reviews, and now people have turned around and started calling those people this.
Yeah.
They're definitely overusing it.
I mean, to be fair, the racism.
I think
Okay, the racism does go both ways because I have seen a lot of
there were
like
definitely real
people who are
problems.
like anti-lolicon or like anti like this problematic thing in anime be like super racist towards like either Latinos, Southeast Asians, or actual like East Asians and Japanese people. So it seems like people are just starting to become racist to each other for no reason.
Well,
Okay,
it's,
but
it's
here's
unfortunate.
I'll
Go
let Freeman
ahead.
speak. He's been cut off a lot.
Yeah.
Well, it's a wild thing because I think this is it's difficult to say which side it's more of a problem on, but it is a huge side that people are just willing to throw around the absolute worst accusations, insinuations, whatever you want to call them, at each other are
Yeah.
also willing to randomly
Why am I
show
a
up.
pedophile for saying I want to bang Kitagawa?
Yeah, just like this clump of polygons is
Well-
actually 17 years old, you pedophile.
People really do not realize like the level of ire that this pulls out from certain people. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of these people just feel like they're trolling. They're just saying it because it's a funny thing to say. When you
Yeah.
say that about a person, you are just calling people out of the woodworks who would happily see these people dead just
Yeah.
because they were called the word. And
Yeah,
they
exactly.
have no respect for what they're saying.
Yeah, it's basically like just like trying to say the worst thing you possibly can and
Yeah.
using it as like a sort of derogatory thing against someone just because they didn't fucking agree with you saying that like this is weird and I hate it and everyone should also hate it.
Well, I've also literally seen VTubers like apologizing for calling other VTubers these things in the past, and then you see quote tweets saying in the VTuber community, the one place where you have to apologize for not being a, and fill in the blank, of course, for being a pedo. It's
Yeah.
but it's just so polarized. It's taken to such a severe level on both sides because I see plenty of this from, people who I would consider left wing, but then I see right wing trolls going to people's profiles randomly and just like telling them you'll never be a real woman. Like, it's so toxic, and it makes it difficult to even want to engage with the conversation.
Yeah, that's why usually when I have to like if I ever have to argue with someone, I'm not gonna fucking bring up, their race, what they identify as, or like just anything like that. Like I'm not gonna be the one who does like the pronouns in bio type shit because that's kind of petty.
Right.
But it's just like just because you're can I say the R word? I'm autistic.
Yes,
I can
we say it
for
all
it.
the time.
Okay, just because you're retarded doesn't mean that I should be retarded.
Well, it doesn't mean that I have to play along with it.
Yeah, just like I don't have to play along with your shit. Like, no joke, I saw a TikTok that I wholeheartedly agree with. That where this girl was literally just like, you not being able to separate fiction from reality is not my problem.
Right.
Well, also, how much
I
of
feel-
this is a normie problem and how much of this is a get off of Twitter problem?
Yes,
I think
do.
most
it's
of it is
definitely it's a microcosm of like the social media allowing too many voices, of things that you could say before that normally you'd get beaten up for.
Yeah,
but now,
exactly,
with the
like-
benefit of anonymity,
Yeah.
people now suddenly
This is
growing
why we
the
need
balls that they don't have.
gatekeeping.
Yeah, like no
We-
joke. I'm one for having privacy and anonymity online. I should know because if we're gonna get into like politics talk, I'm neither right nor left. I'm actually a libertarian. So I'm gonna say this: I
Same.
value privacy as much as as the next libertarians, but some people need to learn when to shut the fuck up, even when they have anonymity.
Yeah, it's fair. I do think that this issue is much worse on websites like Twitter and Reddit, where there's a feedback mechanism that kind of rewards you for, trying to ratio someone, trying to win an argument. I don't think it's totally non-existent on YouTube. I mean, just when I posted that video originally, Modern Anime Fans, I did like almost immediately get a comment that was like, well, yeah, I don't like the pedophile stuff. And funny enough, that profile disappeared days later. It's almost like people who think this tend to do stupid nonsense that gets them banned eventually.
Yeah, like no joke.
I think
I will say one of my
Oh.
favorite threads on Twitter. I'd have to go searing for it again because I don't have it like bookmarked or anything.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite threads on Twitter is the one of every time, every like documented time of someone online being like, "Oh, you like XYZ character?"
reset the
like,
clock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Reset the clock.
like,
Yes, I love that.
reset the
I
clock
love
when
the reset
someone who
the
calls
clock.
it out gets exposed in real life for being
Yeah,
an
like
actual,
no
sex
joke.
pest
That
criminal.
is a shockingly. That is literally a shockingly like very common occurrence. Like people who are very against like lolly or like anything related like. This character is such and such, you should not be drawing porn of them. And then all of a sudden they get exposed for like fucking talking to kids.
Yeah. Well, I do think as we were saying, it's much worse on websites like Twitter. I think the closest thing really to it that happens in mass on YouTube is just people complaining about other people complaining about the wrong type of censorship, as well as there are obviously people who attach their politics to their their anime coverage. And I think the closest thing really is probably just like the top 10 tropes that I hate that need to disappear. Like, I feel like that's probably the closest thing I can think of on YouTube that actually has some level of following. There's also, of course, I mean, there's the what are the videos where they're talking about all the modern rom-coms, they call them.
Yeah, like there's like a lot of people complaining about like fucking erotica and smut that's been popping off on like Book Talk, and as much as I hate Book Talk and like TikTok trends in general, I kind of am the bitch to not like specifically judge people because of like what their fetishes are and shit like that. Cause like no joke, I actually managed to become friends with like a few fujoshis or like people who really like BL, even though I don't like BL. And it's just like my boundary with them is that as long as you do not give me art of my husbando getting fucked by another man, then you're good.
We could do with less of just like jump scaring people with these kinds of images. You would do everyone a huge favor.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like, I mean, to be fair, I don't like send porn to people unprompted.
Right.
That's not me, honestly.
Right.
Like, I like to joke
Damn,
about
that's
that.
not you. Shit.
Well,
Shit, you're not supposed to do that.
I must have been doing something wrong. I've been doing that all the time.
The other thing, this is a contingent that I noticed a while back. I have not watched like these videos in full. I'm not going to pretend that I have, but these videos talking about the quote-unquote loser anime, and they're of course talking about Nagatoro, Uzaki-chan, Rent-a-Girlfriend, Kami-san. They somehow managed to throw My Dress-Up Darling in there, probably because they didn't watch it. But the act of almost just completely and utterly misunderstanding what you're even complaining about, the arguments always come down to like, oh my god, I can't believe the characters already know each other. What is this? Some kind of
just like, I can't believe, look at this fucking gooner anime, guys. Look at this gooner
I mean, to be
anime.
fair, one of those is an actual loser anime, and that's Rent-a-Girlfriend.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Like, know the difference, please. But
yeah, like, no joke. I know people really hate harem animes, but there are actually 100 Girlfriends is actually a good harem anime, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I also love Shuffle. Shuffle is that's the harem that made me freaking cry. But the thing about that to me is they complain about issues that they would never complain about in another show. Like, as I said, they complain that the characters already know each other. Like, oh my god, it's so convenient that the main characters know each other. What kind of complaint is this?
Yeah, what kind of fucking...
They think of that as if, okay, well, that's the loser fantasy, that's the virgin fantasy, because the characters know each other at the beginning. You have to have...
I think in, like, that sort of vein, like, I have seen discourse online about, like, okay, so you guys know the first episode of Dan Da Dan, right? Where they get kidnapped by the fucking aliens, and Momo is, like, basically in underwear.
Greetings, female human.
Yeah, greetings, female human, and then like the alien
in a
penis
sexy way whatsoever.
Yeah, and then like the alien penis shows up. Apparently, if you find that hot, you're fetishizing rape.
Yeah.
Damn, I don't know about you, but I thought the aliens wanting the banana were hot as hell. Damn. Damn, that's
no
all
joke.
I'm gonna say.
No joke. If you
Momo,
find that
don't
weird,
really care.
The
Those
whole
aliens
plot
though.
point of Dan Da Dan is Okarun loses his fucking nuts. Okay.
It's amazing, and I will say there are 2 points. A lot of people point out that Dandadan is like an unfiltered anime adaptation. Complete nonsense. You have not read the manga if you think that. But
Yeah, exactly.
those things are
I-
eventually phased out of the manga for anyone who actually wants to get into it.
Yeah, and that's why I ship Momokuru. Because they get into like some weird wacky shit together, and then it evolves into like fluffy romance and shit, and I am a sucker for that.
So, as we're approaching the end of this, because it looks like we're coming up on nearly 2 hours at this point, I wanted to circle back to like one last overarching conclusion. I know a lot of people had more things to add to the conversation, but I don't want it going on for too long. So I just want to bring it all back to a more of a focal point of what is to be done for all of this. Like, well, how do we solve this issue, so to speak? Can it be solved?
Well,
Can it be solved?
Because Crunchy, you brought this up in Discord when I first pitched this podcast idea to you. You said, why don't we just make a new, more segregated community from the normies like nerds did the first time?
I think
when
that
they were
is the
ostracized to
ideal
the worlds of
solution.
Anime.
But as I've said repeatedly, like, our methods of gatekeeping have been ripped away from us slowly but surely. And so it will take... What it takes is convincing the people around you that sort of form your small niche of the community to, like, go on a private Discord server or start up a niche website or forum for it. You know, we need to change the culture of the internet and get decentralized from Twitter and all these, you know, other shitholes. But the issue is I'd have to learn web dev to do that, and I'm way too lazy to do that.
I mean, to be fair,
we'll make our own social media.
Yes, we'll make our own social media with blackjack and hookers.
You know, Trump called his social media truth. I'm gonna call mine false.
Cringe social. Cringe social.
Cringe social.
Everyone will be too scared to join.
God.
Okay, I do think there is obviously also the element of like smaller communities own, of course, I mean, channels. I think there's an element of like, do you want to gatekeep your own content? Obviously the extreme version of that would be like Tao literally naming his channel the Almighty Lolly. I think that's the classic version.
Yeah.
Just fully gatekeeping the channel that you run.
Yeah.
I feel like I almost naturally do that with my own stuff, just by, like, within a minute of a video, I've almost always made a sexual joke. It just kind of happens that way.
I mean, to be fair, when it comes to my content, I openly post the word retard on, like, everything that I do, so I already filter my audience.
Yeah, that does a lot.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I have had to do, like, counter-filtering as well, because, like, during stream at one point, there was this, like, one guy who, came into my stream, you know, like, I'm not a dick to everyone I meet who gives me off vibes, so I really just say, hey, what's up, and all that shit like that. And then he starts mentioning, like, how he hates pro shippers in, like, his fucking chat, and I already know what the fuck kind of person he is just by saying that, because, like, if you don't know what pro shipper is like a new friend term, basically to say, like, I do not care if there is incest and pedophilia in my media or something like that, and I think it's bullshit, honestly, because it should be, like, crammed into people's heads that fiction is not reality, and we should not be, like, making terms up for this kind of shit, because it makes it, like, seem like it's, like, not, like, a fucking common sense at this fucking, I don't know.
Well,
I have no
unfortunately,
idea, but
the
like,
level,
it was,
just like the quality of conversation, generally speaking, on like the broader websites is unfortunately just at a ridiculously low level, and I feel like much of it is that there are people who are either just talking past each other, or they're just so completely sick of people telling them what to think or say or not think or say that they've just went full retard, like
Yeah.
all the way
Yeah, 'cause-
in one direction or the other.
Because
Yeah.
back in the day, the whole reason that these communities started out to begin with was because, you know, anime, gaming, etc. used to be considered the nerd stuff. It's for the nerds. We don't want to do that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
they tended to get ostracized from communities or like singled out and
Mhm.
labeled as like, you know, antisocial, introvert. So they, you know, some of them probably were introvert. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
not a it's not unlikely that there's an overlap between people who are into stuff like anime and gaming and, you know, streaming, trading card games, I don't know, all that kind of stuff that could be labeled nerdy and more antisocial, introverted type of people. So back in the late 90s, early 2000s, then like the dawn of the internet, especially around the time when stuff like MySpace and like very early OG YouTube was coming about, they were able to like form these forums and these little safe havens
Mhm.
that the casual audience couldn't really were a part of, because it wasn't like in your face at the time. It wasn't so like easily accessible. You did have to kind of seek it out. At least definitely you had to put in more effort back then than it relative to being part of the conversation of like, you know, Don to Don's trending on Twitter as it was airing today.
Mhm.
And they
Mhm.
just immediately insert yourself into any conversation.
Right,
Yeah.
and
But
everyone.
now that in this new social media age, now the nerd thing is now becoming more cool and widely accepted at the very least. So it's like, now what do we do? How do we offshoot the offshoot? Like you said, Framey, you can either like start gatekeeping right out of the gate by, you know, labeling yourself as the almighty lolly or
Yeah.
Cunny Master Hitler Lover 69.
Oh,
I mean, if you're,
right.
if
Cunny
you're cringe, you can
Hitlers.
do that.
Well, this
I personally don't think that's a viable solution.
well,
in the
and
long
this
run.
this is
I think it just makes
Wow,
you
what makes
kinda
you
look like-
think that, Neon?
well,
I
thi-
mean,
this
in a vacuum, it's kind of funny, but
Yeah.
like, as
Yeah,
a
yeah.
long-term solution, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
yeah,
does
honestly.
this poses a
But-
question which I think I've heard others ask before, which is like, is gatekeeping just making the community insufferable for the people that you want outside of it? Is that really all the gatekeeping ultimately amounts to?
In my honest
Is
opinion,
gatekeeping bad?
yeah,
No, I
in
mean
my
at the
honest
same
opinion-
time. Well,
in
just
my
like
honest opinion, no. Honestly, it's just like, if you want people to filter out, then have them filter themselves out. I'm pretty sure if you
Right.
try to, it's like the Barbara Streisand effect. If you try to actively like fucking shield someone from seeing something, they're just gonna want to see it anyways.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. What you resist persists, as they say.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was.
My idea on how to quote unquote gatekeep is that I am a huge proponent of ruling servers and personal websites with an iron fist and becoming digital Stalin.
God.
You
So
you
if
are
the-
considered the ruthless dictator of Bagel Corn.
I literally,
Y-
yeah, I think my role name on my Discord server is Ruthless Dictator. Yeah, it is.
Oh my
and
god.
so, if there's a conversation you don't like, just ban it. If a bunch of fucking people
Yeah.
have been debating Lolly for the past month, just say, "All right, shut the fuck up about it. Just be civil and let's talk about anything else." You know, if you have an
Yeah.
annoying discussion, just be like, "Hey, I'll ban you if you talk about it." Freedom
Yeah.
of speech
Circling
is a
back to
lie
the,
on personal forums.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
I gotta
used to
circle
believe
back
quite the
to-
opposite, but I've
Um,
come to be much more sympathetic to that. Partially just because there's so much slander in the community, but also, like you said, so much of it is just completely unproductive. Like if
Mm.
they've been arguing for a month about something and they're not
Yeah.
making any headway.
Well,
Yeah.
see,
But anyway,
what my
what-
perspective
Um,
is that when you have these communities and you have people that ideally, you know, are adults with jobs, right? Instead of 15-year-olds posting their shitty opinions. If you have a bunch of adults
hold on.
with
Actually,
jobs, they
here's
don't
my
want
solution
to...
cleaning out the community. Ban anyone under the age of 18.
That's also
Yeah.
fair. My server is
Unironically-
also 18
Unironically,
plus, so
I
Yeah,
do
my
genuinely think
server is
the
also
internet would be a
18 plus.
much more bearable place if
Yeah,
we
my Twitch chat is
implemented a
18 plus.
rule.
Everything around me is just like, if you are a minor, you are going to get blocked and like pushed out of everywhere that I am because fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm not your fucking babysitter.
Not to let the conversation stretch too far past this topic, but like,
Right.
even back during not back during like even when sometimes I'm going to conventions or I used to go to Super Smash Brothers locals but before I got a job and have to work overnight, so now I can't do like I can't go to them anymore. Not that I played Smash competitively, I tried to in a while, but we had an event at a bar. It was a local called the CFL Smackdown, and it was held at a bar. So naturally, there were no minors allowed because you had to be of age to enter a bar.
Yeah.
They made an exception and said, okay, we'll ID you. You can be 18 to enter, but absolutely no minor. Like, you just won't be able to order drinks, obviously. Like, they'll just won't serve you alcohol, but you can enter and you can order food and you can participate in the tournament. But there were some like 17 and 16-year-olds in the in the CFL Smash community who were like, well, this sucks. This is a local, this is like one of the only big local events. It's like the biggest local event in the area, and we can't enter it because of something we can't control. And listen, I feel for you on an emotional level, like, darn it, why am I being gatekept for, my age? Not my fault I'm not 18 yet. And it's like, I understand that.
Yeah.
At the same time, I just don't think the kind of like energy and like atmosphere that stuff like, and this can translate to the kind of like discussions that are had within, anime gaming fandoms. Like the amount of like the energy in the atmosphere and what goes on is just not a suitable place for minors.
Well,
Yeah.
and there's a feedback loop. There's a feedback loop that occurs, and often, unfortunately, it's predicated on a total lack of knowledge about how things work. Like even to step to a conversation that's a little less controversial, to censorship. Like a lot of people I agree with fundamentally, because they're complaining about censorship in anime, but almost no one understands why it's happening. So the conversation quality is just so low, and that feedback loop from a mass of people, most of which are probably too young to really realize that they might be wrong about some of their presuppositions, really just lowers the quality. The only problem, as always, is like how do you gatekeep them and retain anonymity on the internet? That's really the big problem, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, I have done a lot of stupid shit when I was a teenager. Like, I have been in places that I probably should not have been as, like, a high schooler. Like, really shouldn't have been in places. It's to the point where, like, there are some communities out there which are, like, so paranoid about having minors in their spaces that if you are suspected of bringing a minor into that space, you are automatically banned and you will never be talked to ever again. It's that strict.
Yeah, I guess there's just I would question, like, if the tools are even there to properly enforce such a thing. I mean, that's the only thing.
you just kind of
I mean, to be fair, a lot of them did like
If you have
ID
to ask.
checks and shit like that.
Beg and plead to stay in the server.
Yeah.
No, please don't ban me, uwu.
Yeah, no, fuck you.
Please don't hit me with the banny wanny hammer.
Okay, there is one other element to this that I think is kind of interesting, that is unique to anime. Like the obvious fear I think that people have is that between the combination of the anime medium kind of branching out globally, the combination of that and such a mass of quote-unquote normal people getting into it, the influence will begin to homogenize the medium itself. At the same time, there's ironically something somewhat positive to be said about the decrepit production committee system, which that it is insular and it does kind of resist outside influence to a degree. I think obviously that has been tested with recent trends, but do you think we'll see the same effect that we've seen on video games on anime just because it's globalizing, becoming more mainstream, and beginning to appeal to more quote-unquote normal people?
If anything by if I'm going by anything that Studio Trigger is making, honestly, like, they're fine. I'm pretty sure they threatened CD Projekt Red to keep Rebecca in the show, or else they would stop production entirely.
Famous quote: "The lolly stays."
Yeah, the lolly will stay.
I think I need to fact check if they actually said the lolly stayed, like, verbatim.
Yeah, but they did. I think they did say the lolly.
Okay,
I don't remember
it's because Rebecca's not a lolly, though.
I mean, she is a lolly, technically.
She's an adult.
The definition
but she's got the petite body type. That means lolly.
She's petite.
Yeah,
then say she's flat chested.
I don't remember who was being interviewed that this quote comes from. So yeah, it may be. I would have to look up who actually said it. I guess, like, going off of what you were saying, I guess it kind of just depends on the source from which the show is coming.
Yeah.
The problem, I guess, of course, is at the end of the day, producers and investors will be the ones who have the say in how productions are run. In the vast majority of cases. I mean, even with, to cite Mappa's Chainsaw Man, I mean, Mappa was basically the production committee there. They still ended up removing, like, the lines about, God, what was it? The lines about unions, the little song that Denji was singing in the tub.
Oh,
I don't know that I feel like maybe I'm going off track once again, but I just question, kind of questioning myself, if this is going to have the effect that we fear it has on the level that it has affected video games. 'Cause to me, the problem is with AAA video games, everything is the same art style now, which is no art style. Everything basically plays the same. You can expect, if you pick up a game, you know what the control scheme is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, most of them are just becoming walking simulators at this point.
And I mean, I guess, like, even beyond censorship and all that, my fear would be that the influence eventually turns anime into something that homogenized. I don't know. I'm trying to grip.
I get where you're coming from. I will mention that there is credit card companies are now targeting user-made content, like stuff on DL site and Fantia and other platforms sort of like that. They're starting to, like, pull their services from those types of websites, and it's because it's in the indie space. It's starting to happen, like, because, oh, we don't want you to see this. And I'm starting to think, if that kind of shit happens in the anime space, it's going to affect it very greatly, and I am afraid to see what that looks like.
Yeah, of course. Now, I feel like there's been a surprising amount of pushback in the community lately. That this is something else I wonder. I mean, do you guys feel like the tide is turning? Even on Twitter in particular, I see so many of the people complaining about anime tropes and fan service and the community being ratioed often. Is that just my bias? I mean, is that just my timeline? Or does anyone else see this shift occurring?
Circling all the way back to the Haruhi thing, there was this shocking, I linked the tweet into the Google Doc for all, like, the notes about the podcast.
Right.
You can see, like, just how many people were agreeing with the absolutely horrendous take of calling Haruhi like a literally who.
Oh, God.
What's her face?
Right.
So, I do fear that as time goes on, I suppose like a little bit of it can be contributed to the there's a kind of like unique to anime in a way. Not wholly. I'm sure like there are people and stuff like the gaming scene who are forgetting their history and forgetting beloved
Mhm.
icons who are like we're just losing them to time.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, new people
they-
don't uh, new people don't watch that many of the classics, and the conversation is almost always obviously around the
the
currently
current
airing.
trendy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Current,
you know, when
current.
it's good, it's good. Like I'll be
Yeah.
happy to talk about Dawn to Dawn with anyone who's
Mhm.
willing to listen. But it's stuff like back when Crunchy and I were running Castaway Anime, we had this thing. We had a thing in March where we do a themed marathon every March, and the last one we did was Ava month, where we both for the first
Mhm.
time checked out Neon Genesis Evangelion, and it was like a breath of fresh air
It's so
to
good.
after watching so many current anime. Not to say that all current anime is bad. There's stuff like your Don to Don that are amazing, but there's like something about the 90s like era anime, like 80s
Yeah.
and 90s like Ava that has this energy and level of
Mhm.
production that you just don't see anymore.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes I mean, to be fair, sometimes I know Penny and Stocking was like 2010s or something like that, but I keep revisiting Penny and Stocking and think, wow, holy shit,
It's
what a
just so
fucking
bold.
anime.
It's just who would think to do this?
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure that
Who would
people
greenlight
I'm
it
pretty
also?
sure like Hiroyuki Imaishi and like a bunch of people just got like absolutely fucking zooted one day and was just
Yeah.
like, we should make this.
Well, and that is one thing where I think one of the biggest fears is that we'll continue to lose more and more of those. I mean, I can't be the only one who's noticed that we do get less and less of just anime originals across the board. And I don't imagine, I mean, to go back to the fact that people just don't revisit the classics, uh how many people have even watched like more than a handful of anime originals today? Like
Mm.
most people have probably seen Licorice Recoil because it's newer, but
Yeah, like Chris. I
people
think
just don't
Akiba
revisit.
Maid War was is it
Yeah, yeah.
anime
It is.
original?
That was an original as well, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but that one was really fucking good. I like it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
nowadays
guess,
you like your anime originals just tend to show up in the form of movies like your Makoto Shinkai's.
Mm,
I guess maybe it's like a stereotypical old head take, but I mean maybe part of what we need to do is do more to um encourage people to go back and check out the classics.
Unfortunately, stuff like social media and like especially stuff like
Yeah.
YouTube heavily discourages that.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's so difficult. I
yeah.
mean, you have to find ways to
the
market
stuff that
it.
I want to say, I can literally just say like, I have a torrent client up and running right now.
In Minecraft.
Yeah.
In Minecraft, I totally do not condone piracy. Joking.
Uh, well, there is. I mean, I think I brought this up last time, but there is an element to it, which is like one of the reasons people don't go back and check out many of the classics is because they don't want to pirate. Like, if I tell someone to watch Technolize or Crossange and they only stream through official websites, they cannot watch Technolize or Crossange. And it's really unfortunate. They're both great shows. Totally different shows as well.
Yeah.
But-
I mean, to be fair, there have been some anime that have been re-uploaded to YouTube that have gone
Yeah,
under the
yeah.
radar. For example, I think the whole OVA to Plastic Nason is up on YouTube, as well
Okay.
as the entire fucking Poppy the Performer series is up on YouTube.
There are a lot of those.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be the way to get people to check it out. Like if companies, like the actual anime production companies, were just like,
Yeah.
hey, we in addition to like the new stuff that we're streaming, like, hey, we're reruns coming to Netflix, boys. do
Yeah.
a thing where it's like, hey, here's fucking I'm trying to think of like something that's not too popular, but it's
Well,
like not too
I actually
like
do. I
You
do
gotta
know
bring
of
Panty
one
and
that
stuff.
kind of.
Dude, remember when Funimation had like full episodes of their like a few full episodes of their dubs up on YouTube at some point? I remember that back in the fucking day. I wonder if companies will ever just start doing that. Like I know a few of them have actually done that. I've watched a whole fucking like anime that I never knew of on YouTube. It's called it's a slice of life called Atashinchi, and they actually had it up on YouTube like fully subbed and everything, and it's fucking great.
To be fair, I dig into Crunchyroll a lot. They have started releasing a lot of anime on YouTube recently, and I
think they only do that for their like new shows and like
Yeah.
entire first episodes though. They don't go
Okay,
past
okay.
Yeah,
the first episode.
yeah, they
honestly.
don't upload
okay.
like the full fucking thing, like the It's
Like some of
Anime
the
channel where
Japanese,
they premiered episodes of My Friend Nokotan.
So I guess more of that's probably coming from actual Japanese sources. I do actually have one kind of precedent for this, which I didn't know about until recently. I can't remember the actual clothing brand, but who's working on these, but they started making like quote unquote official Technolize merch again. I believe because Chiaki J. Konaka actually came out and said like no one is producing merch for this show anymore, so like you can just start making it and selling it under the official name. You can use the actual art. Like perhaps
the
we could
Technolize J's.
yeah, well, I mean this one
Technolize Air Force Ones.
Yes, I want it. It's funny because I bought years ago an unofficial version of like Ron standing in front of the city, and there's an official version of it that quote unquote, once again, quote unquote official version of it that you can buy from this Japanese merch company now. I mean, could we ever see something like that for the actual show? I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of the times, like for shows that I like, there's barely any like merchandise for it, and like you guys remember when I mentioned like Pulpy the Performer was so popular it had like a shit ton of merch. Now that merch is fucking expensive as hell if you want to get like something of decent quality. I know the bobbleheads, the Pulpy and Kedamono bobbleheads look gormless, and with age they look so fucking bad. But I will say, if you can ever seek it out, you should definitely like see if there will be any doujin goods.
Right.
Like I actually found a Pulpy the Performer doujin on Mandarake.
Oh, Lord.
I'm pretty sure I just turned a page. It's porn.
I
don't think we can get people back into the classics with Azumanga Daioh porn.
I just think that I do think redirecting people to some of the older shows, as difficult as it may be, would be very effective, because a lot of people seem to forget that anime has always been very, very weird. And I mean, the old stuff it's weird in ways that you often forget in shows that
is Misato a pedophile?
Oh
you below in the comments,
dude. If you want like pure like early 2000s anime trash, look no further than Bludgeoning Angel Dokuro-chan.
Oh god.
Oh, yeah.
You are going to get the theme song stuck in your fucking head for days.
The last little point I wanted to just wrap up the whole conversation with is that it's a little like glimmer of hope at the end of all this like doom or gloom and doom talk. I was watching this interview with this YouTuber. I don't know if y'all heard of him, Saros TV, and he did an interview with a YouTuber that I love, best guy ever, called "Anime is Ruining the World."
I've been meaning to check this out.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. It was very fun. Saros brings up this point where it's this weird dichotomy of anime conversation, like in a general sense, is simultaneously the worst, but the best it's ever been.
Mhm.
Because in the sense of, it is great that now I'm more likely to be able to have a conversation about an anime or even a game now than like over a decade ago or two decades ago about like any game or any anime. But now it just comes with the caveat of I just got to be careful where and who I have these conversations
Yeah,
with.
exactly.
Right.
It's kind of,
So
it's definitely pretty fucking like, it is nerve-wracking to say the least, because I would like to mention, one of my favorite games, Off, is getting a remake soon, and I'm very happy, but also very scared because of like the
Undertale
Undertale
fandom.
fandom and the amount of like fucking newbies that are gonna come in and like not like read the fucking room about like what the fandom is like currently, and and I'm trying to be positive about this because I actually just pre-ordered the fucking I just pre-ordered the special edition on
Oh,
Fangamer.
I do not condone pre-orders.
God, fuck off! This is Off we're talking about.
Under no circumstances.
But yeah,
I'm
but,
pretty sure it's
Kyra-
going to be
Kyra's
good.
point,
It's
is like,
just going to be a remaster with like
Ye-
added content that was not put in the original game. It's not going to be like a full remake. It's
Yeah, but to Kyra's points, like, is this remaster that's going to revitalize the Off community and even welcome in a bunch of new faces, especially coming off of stuff like since like Off's release, there's been more of a love for, you know, its predecessors like Earthbound, and then of course its successors like Undertale and games like Everhood and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it is getting this remaster is having all of this like newfound conversation for Off to be reinserting itself back into even if it's not like the huge over like general gaming zeitgeist on social
Yeah.
media or whatever. It's just like this one remaster, like a big enough push to have it be talked about in any like more increased capacity, worth any amount of strife that might come
Yeah.
with it.
Well, also, of course, there's always the question, like, I mean, will the remaster or remake be the only thing that people are talking about anyway? Like, I mean, maybe people. I'm sure good conversation will probably come. It doesn't necessarily mean that people will revisit the original as much.
I mean, to be fair, I did
but I
download
feel like
the
there's-
original to stream on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Kyra Slipstream, by the way.
There'll be plenty of time to plug
Yeah,
at the
okay,
end.
but I did download the original game to play on stream, and it's been an experience for me because I haven't played the game in like a long ass time. It's been since like high school, maybe even younger than that.
I feel like maybe there's an
Off
element.
fan excited to play Off for the first time.
Shut up.
I feel like maybe I'm reading too much into what you were saying, but I feel like maybe there's also an element of like you just have to curate the conversations that you're a part of.
Yeah, definitely. If anyone starts like posting like Batter and Zachary porn, I'm literally going to block them because Zachary is my husbando, and I'm the only one who gets to suck his dick.
I mean, good for you. I think that's a little beyond what we're talking about generally. But, yeah, but doubling on what you were saying, framing, how, yeah, I think what we, instead of like waiting on a company or like an organization or like even a social media to try to influence the conversation, what we, the individual, can do for both ourselves and our fellow old heads, like of the old vanguard of anime gaming in general, just try to like curate your conversation. Try not to take the rage bait. If you want to clown on someone for having a shit take, you know, go ahead. Just don't give them. It's like the number one classic rule of the internet. Don't feed the trolls.
Don't feed the trolls. If you want to
Yeah.
clown on them,
even if they're not
if you wanna-
trolling, even if it's their genuine
yeah,
opinion,
like even
don't-
if it's their
don't
genuine
feed
opinion,
into
just
it.
don't fall for it. Definitely, like if you want to clown on it, definitely the best way I want to do it is like clown with like some good friends. Like even if they don't know what the fuck you're talking about, just say like, "Oh, this idiot." I mean, to be fair, I have a lot of like fucking like my fan base knows what I particularly like to stand on, so we usually like to whinge about like people, like credit card companies not being with the cute and funny and like being like, okay, we're gonna pull your fucking sales. It's just
Well, I guess I mean there's obviously a place for complaints and criticism,
yeah.
but I guess there's an element of like we as just people in general on social media and the internet tend to spend a lot of energy just feeding into that I can't remember who I'm quoting here, but they would call it the feedback loop from hell. Like instead of trying to build quality conversations, we often just find ourselves being a part of that. There's obviously a difficulty in that because you want to ride on the back of the thing that's trending and the thing that everyone is in their feels about at the moment, but I mean, you just gotta deal with it, I guess.
You just gotta avoid it. Gotta avoid it as much as possible. I remember I used to be guilty of that shit. I actually used to be like very like anti-lolicon back in the day. Like by back in the day, I mean when I was like 20. So, but then it was just like, maybe all fiction ain't that really that bad. I'm probably just being a fucking schizo about literally a fucking drawing. So I'm now just like, you know what? I don't give a shit. If you're gonna say shit to me about like me liking the whoa cute and funny, then I'm gonna fucking block you. I don't give a shit. You're not slick.
I guess this is something that I do want to make more videos on. Just like celebrating the unhinged insanity of anime in general. I feel like that's like there's a positive spin that you can have, and I do want to make videos complaining about behaviors that I don't appreciate. I also think you probably do it just as much, if not more good, by making God, what was one of the ideas I had? Just videos that celebrate what you love about anime, and instead of God, I don't know where I'm fucking going with this.
I would beg any of you to just watch Pulpy the Performer and see if you guys can review it at some point, because holy fuck, it is such a, it's like cough syrup nightmares, but if you also swallowed Benadryl and Datura, and you're just fucking like about to go into the fucking light.
I think we can sum up this whole conversation with a quote from one of the most enlightened intellectual minds.
This is my 9/11.
No, it's not what we, a very influential, very important, very effective figure in the social media community. At Grums, do not fuck with gamers. We're forged by endless boss battles against impossible odds. We do not give up. We do not stop. We are the Terminators of the culture war. Fucking dude is literally almost 16.
Oh my.
And literally did the fucking gamers don't die, they respawn type shit.
I have to contain myself.
Oh god.
You know, the crazy thing is, I feel like someone like Grums would create a lot more quality conversation once again, and not just to say
no. I'm gonna disagree with you there.
If he was not constantly part of that feedback loop.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
like that dude's been
bro's just
that dude's been coasting
People
off the
bro
rift
is
for years. He needs to stop.
People also, unfortunately, I think they really do feel like I have to post something literally every day. Every day I have to be mad about something. And
Okay.
That's how you
Yeah.
grift. That's grifting
Yeah.
101.
Alright,
That's a conversation.
Let
for
me
another
just
day.
say
Yeah.
that I'm pretty sure, as someone who has done that before, that is not good for your mental health. I literally had a fucking mental
No.
breakdown because of that shit. So don't do it.
Unless you want to make a shit ton of money.
Yeah, unless you,
Crunchy and I-
if you think
I've
the
joked
money
with
is
Crunchy
worth
before.
it, go ahead. But
Uh.
I have more self-worth than to like shill myself out for like clicks and likes and shit like that. Okay, I'm not gonna go on a fucking downward
joked-
spiral every single day of my life, dude.
I've joked with Crunchy before, like, what if I just made an alt account and just like started up from
Oh,
scratch,
so tempting.
and a grift just to see how successful I could make it and how much money I could scam off.
Right.
Oh
it.
boy. Oh.
I still genuinely think it would be successful. I could lead into the grift.
Yeah,
really
you
hard
could
if I
lead
wanted
into the
to.
grift, and when once you think you're done and over with it, you could just be like, "Hey guys, it's a social experiment. I was just trolling you this entire time. Have a nice life."
I wouldn't even call it a social experiment. I would just call it what it is. I scammed you.
You're just
idiots.
like, "Thanks for
And
your
you fell
money,
for it.
dumbasses."
I've thought similarly about making a channel called Bagel Says Desu. 10 guesses as to what the inspiration is.
Crunchy, I'll pay you to make that as like an April Fool's joke.
You know what? I'll do
use
that
your
for
avatar.
April Fools on my second channel.
And you make your version of a Rev Says Desu video.
Oh my god.
You know what's funny? I haven't
I'm
watched
down.
the videos by this person yet.
Oh god.
But there is a channel.
I used
floating.
to. It is like pure fucking brain
Oh.
rot. It is.
Oh, well,
I think he's
I've
talking about
already-
a different channel.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Rev
I was
Says
gonna say
Desu.
there is a channel. I have not checked out their videos yet, but it's just called That Woke Karen.
Oh
And,
no.
That sounds like an
Oh
obvious.
yeah, that
Yes,
does sound like an obvious
obviously.
fucking grift. Like,
That's either an obvious or a satirical.
oh my
It's
god.
definitely satirical, going off of the thumbnails and titles.
Oh,
But
Jesus.
I mean, they seem to be having some success, so you should probably do it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
If I ever need the money.
Yeah,
It's a proven formula.
you just gotta like fucking farm that ad revenue from people.
Well, I'd say this has been a very entertaining and productive
Yeah,
conversation.
definitely. We should definitely do
Yeah,
this
kill it
again
on
sometime.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. If there's any
nothing else.
kind of a topic like this that warrants a
We
conversation,
gotta get to the we gotta get to like censorship and shit like that. Definitely.
It's such a huge topic.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge topic. But we could start with like the shit that's happening with credit card companies like pulling out of like Japanese stuff currently.
Right. To sum up my points, I don't think Freerin is fascist. Personally.
Yeah, but I do think we should. Call it.
Yes, true.
They are all evil.
I've been rewatching Tanya recently.
God.
The actual fascist anime.
Oh yeah.
Okay, what are you?
Just
what
like
are you
people
actually
complaining
gonna
that Freyrin
conclude?
is fascist when Tanya, the Saga of Evil, is right fucking there. Just hello. There's a Nazi lolly.
Yeah, I just had to shove that in somewhere. How would you like to actually?
Very last thing I want to end on before we wrap this up. Why I'm surprised that Tanya is not more cunny 69 PFP.
Yeah, it's always like fucking
You'd
Blue
think that
Archive
she'd be their
characters.
mascot.
You would
You think she'd be? I guess she's not hot or cute.
She is the ultimate
that's
chud.
it.
Yeah, I guess she is actually the ultimate chud at this fucking point. But a lot of those motherfuckers go for like Blue Archive characters who are actually cute and funny. I mean, to be fair, have you seen Makoto? Anyways.
All right, well that's where we gotta wrap it up. So I want to thank y'all for coming on to this first inaugural episode of the AIDS
Hell
podcast.
yeah.
So go ahead and plug everything that you're on.
Well, we hope you got them, if you know what I'm saying. Go check out Framing the Narrative. If you like YouTube videos that are kind of all over the place, but all about anime. My most recent one is basically a tutorial on how to actually finish anime. If You cannot do that.
I'm gonna need that.
It was my attempt at fixing my own problem, truth be told. And unfortunately, as usual, it is well above my usual stats in average viewer duration, and YouTube is just like, yeah, we're not gonna show this to anyone.
God damn it.
But yeah, go check that out.
Yeah. I normally stream on Twitch. I'm also thinking about posting some of my edited down clips on YouTube. Also, some memes on Twitter, if you can follow me. All of those are at Kyra Slipstream. If you want to keep up with the Froge and see if, what the hell she's fucking doing now. What kind of retarded shit she's doing.
Yeah, subscribe to my channel. It's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
It's called Crunchy Bagels. I'm posting like a 2-hour video on Pokemon there in the coming month.
Oh boy.
So look forward to that.
Nice.
Oh boy.
Nice. I do look forward to that.
All right, thank y'all so much for watching. Let us know down in the comments if you want to hear any more kinds of conversations like this in the future. So thank you very much for watching. I'm Neon Manta, and you'll see us next time.